Breaking news, another child has allegedly been molested in a Bangalore school. Parents of an 8-year-old have alleged that the child was sexually molested by the physical education teacher. Parents of children studying in that school are protesting outside the school premises. The police is reportedly investigating the matter. On the phone line is our correspondent Pratibha Raman. Pratibha, what's the latest? Has the police registered an FIR?
That's right, the police has registered an FIR under the POCSO Act and the accused has been detained right now. But the situation did really go a little out of control. Right since morning at 8:30 when the incident came to light, the parents have been protesting outside the school. A lot of pent-up anger that they displayed because of Bangalore having witnessed many such sexual atrocities in schools. And that is when the police had to resort to bringing extra personnel, at least about 2,000 to 3,000 people, according to the police, who had gathered here. And stone pelting as well as lathi charge did take place to bring the situation under control. And tear gas shells are being used as of now. In fact, this particular area, a lot of narrow lanes, and the police are getting into these narrow lanes and using the tear gas shells in order to disperse the crowd and bring the situation under control. There is window panes broken as well as vehicles that were broken and the damage. I'm actually walking through the debris here and talking to you to bring you a sense of what exactly happened here. But as of now, the parents do want justice delivered, and that has been one of the main demands right since last year, spate of incidents that Bangalore has witnessed.
Absolutely. And Pratika, we're getting dramatic visuals from the ground. Massive protests outside the school. People pelting stones inside the school premises. The police resorting to force to bring the crowd under control. Pratibha, are most of these protesters parents whose children are studying in that school?
Most of them are, yes, parents, but all of them, some of them neighbors as well as people who are residing in that particular area in and around the school who had gathered together to find out if justice can be delivered. In fact, it was a small argument that took place between the management and the parents, and suddenly the things went out of control, and that is when the police had to interfere here and bring matters under control by the use of tear gas shells. And now the person has been detained and the investigation will proceed soon after this.
Right, and Pratibha, we've seen several cases of sexual assault on toddlers and young school children on school premises. In spite of the fact that the Bangalore police has issued fresh guidelines, these instances continue to be repeated. What's the kind of school where this incident allegedly took place, and what's the kind of neighborhood that we're dealing with? Also, in what part of the city is this school located?
Well, in fact, this particular area is in the periphery of the city. It's not one of the central areas that we're talking about. School does not really come from a posh locality, but then it's part of the middle class and lower middle class background people who reside here, and that is why the tensions are really high, because this particular school hasn't really implemented the kind of guidelines that have been set by the police, and it is this kind of a careless, nonchalant attitude displayed by the school management that has angered most parents here, and that has been one of the root causes for this kind of protest to take place.
Right, so once again, we're seeing a school openly flouting guidelines that have been issued by the state government and the police, asking for a verification of all school teachers and staffers inside schools. What we are seeing on our screens are pictures of angry protests taking place outside the school. An 8-year-old was allegedly sexually assaulted inside a school recently. Pictures on your screens are of police having to resort to force as well. All right, on the phone line we have with us Ms. Meena Jain, member of the Child Welfare Committee. Thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. Your first reaction?
I am former member of the chairperson of the Child Welfare Committee.
All right.
It's shocking to know that again an incident like this has happened. But somewhere I think safety is not being taken seriously about for children. Everyone is talking, but I think there is a need for us to make sure that these safety measures are enforced and implemented immediately.
Right, and Ms. Jain, what's even more starking is the fact that in spite of so many cases being reported from Bangalore city, in spite of the state government and the police cracking down on security issues as far as schools are concerned, asking schools to get police verification done of all their staff members and teachers, the police, the schools continue to flout these norms?
Yeah, because it's not, they are not looking at the issue very seriously. And secondly, flouting norms is a part of everything in India. You know, they don't think it is it's something which will lead me to any convictions. See, please understand, there is no speedy trials and convictions happening on these cases. So everyone thinks that I can get away with everything I do.
So you're basically suggesting that stricter punishment should be announced for schools that don't fall in line?
Send a strong message across.
Absolutely.
If you don't send a strong message across, and civic society also has to play a major role in all this by making sure that a lot of children are safe in the environment.
Right. And Meena Jain, what do you have to say about so many cases being reported from one particular city?
So it's really appalling, and I feel that there is so much to be done, but we need to work on a collective level and make sure that children are safe and protected in Bangalore. And
right,
until all Bangaloreans come together and make sure that a child is safe, this will not happen. Just the police or the government are not going to make a difference much. But I think all of us coming together is what is going to make a child safe.
Absolutely. All citizens must unite to ensure safety of children. Ms. Meena Jain, former member of the Child Welfare Committee, thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. These are pictures that we're getting you from outside the school. Angry protests were witnessed where parents and neighbors gathered there early this morning. There were violent protests. The police are having to resort to violence. Vehicles being set on fire by angry parents and protesters who also reportedly pelted stones inside the school premises. Parents of an 8-year-old have alleged that their child was sexually assaulted inside this school. The incident reportedly took place yesterday. The police has now registered an FIR. Pictures of narrow bylanes. This particular school reportedly, they had not confirmed two police guidelines that were issued earlier, saying that all staff members that a police verification should be done of all staff members and of other staffers who are working inside schools. Yet another case of a toddler, of a young child being sexually assaulted inside a school in the IT city. A shameful turn of events. We've been speaking to experts. Ms. Meena Jain, former member of the Child Welfare Committee, telling us that that strict punishment should be announced for schools that don't conform to guidelines issued by the state government. The state government has said that a mandatory police verification should be done of all teachers and staff members. In spite of that, schools not following in line, there is clearly a need for there's clearly need for the state government to ensure that guidelines are followed by schools, and schools that don't fall in line should be punished. Ms. Meena Jain, former member of the Child Welfare Committee, saying that an example should be made. These are pictures that we're getting you from Bangalore. The police having to resort to lathi charge to bring the situation under control. Pictures also of burnt motorcycles and vehicles. The protesters also pelting stones at the school. All right, on the phone line is with us is Ms. Barkha Shukla, chairperson of DCW. Thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. Ms. Shukla, your first reaction.
जैसा कि बेंगलुरु में ये स्कूल में जो हादसा हुआ है, मैं समझती हूँ ये बहुत ही शर्मिंदगी की बात है, बिकॉज ये जो अक्यूज है ये ऑलरेडी एक बार पहले भी इस तरह के मामले में रह चुका है, अक्यूज रह चुका है, और दोबारा स्कूल ने इसको रखा अपने स्कूल में। ये एक बहुत बड़ी गलती है उनकी, और स्कूल के खिलाफ जो है वो पूरा जो है वो वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट को एक्शन लेना चाहिए, एंड इस तरह के जो स्कूल्स है उनको बंद करना चाहिए। जिस तरह से छोटे छोटे बच्चों के 8 ईयर्स की जो बच्ची है उसके साथ में जो मॉलेस्ट किया है उसको, तो आई थिंक उसको बिल्कुल उनको जॉब से निकालना चाहिए, और कानून को उसके खिलाफ जो भी सख्त से सख्त सजा हो वो देनी चाहिए।
Absolutely, Ms. Barkha Shukla. Thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. That was Ms. Barkha Shukla, chairperson of DCW, saying that strict action should be taken against a school for not following guidelines issued by the state government. We have with us our correspondent Pratibha, who's also with us on the phone line. Pratibha, we're seeing dramatic pictures from outside the school premises. Describe to us the area. We're seeing narrow bylanes flooded by people who came out on the streets angry because of another case of sexual assault being reported from the IT city. What kind of school is this? Was it a registered school or a private school that was being run without any notification being sent to the state government? Well, I will try and reconnect with our correspondent. These are pictures that we're getting you from Bangalore. Another shocker from the IT city. An 8-year-old allegedly molested inside a school. Parents claim that she was attacked by her physical education teacher. The police has now registered an FIR. The place witnessed angry scenes this morning. Hundreds of people gathered outside the school. The crowd comprised not just of parents of students who study at this school, but also neighbors who were extremely angry at another case of sexual assault being reported from inside a school. On our screens are pictures of the police having to resort to lathi charge and use of force. This after angry protesters pelted stones at the school and also set a few vehicles on fire. Clearly a lot of anger on the streets. We've been speaking to civil rights activists saying that there is need for citizens to unite to ensure safety of children. Remember, several cases of sexual assault on young school children have been reported from the IT city over the last 6 months. Guidelines have also been issued by the state government and the police saying that a police verification of all teachers and other staffers should be done, considering that these people work in close proximity with young children. Now, another case has come to light. We're also being told that this particular school did not follow guidelines that were issued in schools. Activists also saying that strict action should be taken against schools that don't fall in line, and probably an example should be made to ensure that these schools don't think they can get away with such lax response to government guidelines. Clearly a lot of anger on the streets, heavy deployment of police in these narrow bylanes. This is a small school that we're talking about in Bangalore. We're also being told that the police commissioner of Bangalore is also on the ground. He's in touch. He's supervising the entire operation. Clearly a lot of anger, a lot of force was deployed to rein in the protesters who resorted to violence, started pelting stones at the school, also set vehicles on fire. The administration under scanner for not being able to implement guidelines when guidelines were issued for schools when these instances of sexual assault on children first came to light. Schools were asked to get a police verification done of all staff members and other people who work in schools in close proximity with young children. Why has the administration not been able to ensure that all private and government schools follow these guidelines? We're getting a reaction from the top cop on the ground. Let's listen in.
ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ವಲಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ದೈಹಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಒಬ್ಬ 7 ವರ್ಷದ ಹುಡುಗಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಲೈಂಗಿಕ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯವೆಸಗಿದ್ದಾರಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ಒಂದು ಆರೋಪದ ಮೇಲೆ ಶಾಲೆಯ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೋಷಕರು ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯರು ಸೇರಿದ್ದು ಅವರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತ ಆರೋಪಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇವೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ದಸ್ತಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂದಿನ ಕ್ರಮ ಜರುಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸಹ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಅವರನ್ನ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯವಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹಠ ಹಿಡಿದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನರು ಆಕ್ರೋಶಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು ಮತ್ತು ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಯಮದಿಂದ ಅವರನ್ನ ಮನವೊಲಿಸುವಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಕೆಲವರು ಕೇಳದೇ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಗಲಾಟೆ ನಡೆಯಿತು ಮತ್ತು ಲಾಠಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟಿಯರ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಗಾಯಗಳಾಗಿವೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಗಾಯಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈಗ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಈ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ವಾಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾನೂನು ಬಾಹಿರವಾದ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆ ಏನು ನಡೆದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಮ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಇರೋದೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ತಾವು ತಮ್ಮ ಆಕ್ರೋಶವನ್ನು ತಾವು ತೋರಿಸಬೇಡಿ, ತಾವು ಪೊಲೀಸರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಬಿಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇಡಿ, ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇಡಿ. ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಯಾರು ಆರೋಪಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಕಠಿಣವಾದ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಏರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಆರೋಪಿಯನ್ನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ದಸ್ತಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರದ ವಾಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ತಾವು ಶಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಇದೆ, ತಮಗೆ ಏನು ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಕರಣ
Police chief saying that the teacher has been detained. He's been accused of sexually assaulting an 8-year-old minor inside a school.
Division area of Bangalore city, there was an incident where a physical trainee cum general teacher is alleged to have sexually assaulted a girl of 7 years old in a school, and the parents and other locals gathered in large numbers outside the said school and demanded that the justice should be instantly given to that particular person. Our officers and force led by our additional commissioner Mr. Alok Kumar stood firm and said that we will not allow such instant justice methods, and they will be booked and we will investigate and we will produce him before court, which alone has the authority to impose any penalty. And some of the unruly elements of the local area did not pay heed to what our additional commissioner requested them and tried to convince them over microphone and said that there is no need for spoiling peace in this area. Nevertheless, there was a law and order situation wherein there was stone throwing, bottles were thrown, policemen were injured, and we had to use tear gas and lathi charge and disperse the crowd. And I request the public of Bangalore city to keep calm. No need to pay heed to any rumors. The local area has been brought under control. In any other area, if there is any consternation in the mind of any public, I request them to keep calm, and any issue that is there which is out of law, which is beyond law, should be brought to the knowledge of the police. Police are the only authority who can take penal action against any individual. Public cannot take law into their hands, and we will firmly hold it. Thank you.
So how many casualties, sir? How many casualties, sir? Thank you.